Cheers! Everybody, let's go party. Drink and have fun and don't care about nobody. And we touch no more than anybody. Nobody don't have no worse behavior than we. Everybody, let's go party. Drink and have fun and don't care about nobody. And we drink no more than anybody. Nobody don't have no worse behavior than we. Cannibal time with us.
And that was the Vinci Bad Boy, Mr. Problem Child. And we also have an interview scheduled with him this week as well.
So everybody love me, see you put the drinks in the air. Put the drinks in the air. They watch it with behavior, but we just don't care. It's not bad, we don't care. Hey, wake up, no sleeping. Don't sleep, don't sleep, don't sleep.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And the time here in SVJ is 8:47, and we are back with you for another commentary segment on our Activated Mornings program. And this is the segment where we hand over to Doc for him to give his commentary on whatever it is he wants to give his commentary on. All right?
Yes,
so Doc, over to you.
You know, I'm going to talk about something else, but I thought I'll continue this whole thing about dads and to dig a little deeper into this. I wonder if we realize that the purpose of Father's Day is really to honor a person who has been there, whether they've been there all the time, not just the person who's given you birth, but a person who has provided you with support and guidance and so over the years. But when did Father's Day really start? Do we know? Well, it started in 1909, believe it or not. I'm always surprised how you hear about certain things starting in England, certain things starting in the United States. Well, this one started in the United States. A lady by the name of Sonora.
And it was started by a lady. Mm-hmm.
Huh?
And it was started by a lady. See that?
She started by a lady. And that's why I brought it up. Sonora Small Dodds. From Spokane, Washington State. We talk about one of the furthest parts in Western America. And she was listening to a Mother's Day sermon. And she realized that she certainly could remember her mother because her mother had died. This father she had was a veteran from the American War, Civil War. And he had raised her and her siblings without a mother because the mother had died. And she really wanted to honor him. And it was the next year in 1910 that she had the first date. It started off small. And after that, they decided to have it the third Sunday of June. I didn't even realize that. It's supposed to be the third Sunday of every June. And it's now gone international that, sometimes in one country they celebrate Mother's Day one way, in Europe, another day in somewhere else, and it's getting confusing. Is it in American? Is it European? But basically, this is global. And it's puzzled me. How do you start up something like that and get it going? Maybe it was because she was a woman, but what she did actually, she spoke to men to get their buy-in. And basically, this was before women was able to get their vote in the United States, believe it or not. You know what I mean? But I don't know her background, whether she was a very, very influential woman, but she had to be a strong woman. But she wanted to recognize the fact that her father basically had raised her and her siblings by himself. You know, and we went into the whole thing about what do you really give a father and what fathers appreciate. But think about it. Men can't breastfeed. Men can't deliver babies. They can certainly impregnate, but they can't deliver the baby. You know, you don't see a man walk around with a big belly. You know, he's pregnant. There's a difference between men and women. And in terms of lots of studies have been shown about the emotions and so forth. And on top of that, the layer of culturalization that takes place, whether you're in South America, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in the Middle East, and then another layer of religion, and whether you're Muslim and you want your wife to wear a veil and to dress in a particular way and so forth, or whether you're from the Amazon jungle and persons are virtually naked, and other people able to see, you know, your partner. All these things are layers on top of how one perceives a relationship and the difference between men and women, you know? And bringing it down to brass tacks, it doesn't have to be a commercial type process that on a Father's Day, we go out and we buy, let's say, a tool, you know, a gardening tool, let's say, or a power drill. These things will be appreciated by men, no doubt. You know, they will love that as opposed to the obligatory socks or tie. And I've received many of those. But I want to go a little further, that maybe we need to also look beyond Father's Day, the day after Father's Day, and the day after that, and the day after that. And that the question must be raised that when we talk about men, why is it that we only remember the bad men? The men who may not necessarily have lived up to the creed. And we label and we spread out that thinking to all other men. Are there some good men out there? Let me find them. Are there some good men out there? I'm not talking about as mates and so forth, but are there some hardworking men constructing a building out there today? Are there some hardworking plumbers and electricians out there? Are there some hardworking teachers who are men, or are they just women? Are there some hardworking politicians, you know, or only the women basically maybe hardworking politicians? Are there some hardworking preachers? And I've heard some wonderful women. I was at a funeral and Pastor Burke she's a female, give the sermon. But there's some good men too. And I am bringing the message, let's not damn all men because of a few men, right? That stand out.
Are they few or are they the only majority?
Well, that's the point. That's the point. That's not the case. And I want to put it to you. That's definitely not the case. It's just that we sometimes brand. It's the same thing like being.
We have some calls coming in, though. Huh?
Okay, the same thing like being black. I'm a black man, full of blood in my veins, and I would be labeled in a particular way in certain parts of the world. Let's take the call.
All right, Dave. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
This Father's Day, Mother's Day thing, I'm so happy. I heard Doc talking about how long this thing was introduced. It isn't something indigenous to our culture, where Mother Day and Father's Day are concerned. But we always tend to give or pay homage. Hi, good morning.
Dave, you're live. Dave, you are already live. Dave, listen through the phone.
Well, I'm doing that. I'm surprised now to hear somebody had to be tampering
Somebody
my
bug
phone.
your phone, yeah.
Yeah, man. Somebody
Your phone bug.
Somebody,
That's how. This is the only station I get this thing happening to me.
Mm-mm.
Anyhow, let me continue. No, I can say that loud and clear. Let me continue.
conspiracy theory, Dave.
Well, whatever you want to call it, I don't trust you guys. You know.
Woohoo.
Because let me say this. I listened to we trying to explain Mother's Day and Father's Day. Why we could be so involved in celebrating Mother's Day and we can't be so involved in celebrating Father's Day. And if you come out of a good home, a decent home where mother and father have that kind of understanding, right? We will always understand why.
No, Dave can really say how it bug. Dave, we did not have anything to do with the call ending.
runners,
Just
money runners,
letting
money
you know.
runner, money
No, it's a
runner.
WhatsApp call.
What's up, girl? Yeah.
Dave, we were not responsible for that.
No,
All
he
right.
ain't gonna say you respond. He gonna say, Gerard, he ain't trust you guys. He ain't trust you. know. He ain't trust me. You understand? He ain't trust me. He ain't trust ULP.
Hi.
And so forth. That's what you want to say.
Hi,
You know what I mean?
hi, Mr. Mason. Morning.
Pleasant good morning.
Morning.
I was unable to sign off on Friday, so I'm signing on this morning for you.
morning. You had a good Father's Day?
Things all right? Yeah, you're right. It was okay.
Okay.
My children in England, but they were here to see me anyway, so please. Anyway, Mr. Thompson, good morning.
Good morning. And I tell you something. I remember your father well. You understand?
Yeah.
I remember your father so well too. A great man. You know what I mean? He was revered in Rose Hall, right? Yes.
Yeah. By the way, Mr. Thompson,
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard Lauren's son passed away until this day to rest on Friday.
Which Lawrence?
St. Albans Lawrence.
Yes, but okay, I thought that. No, his son is one of his sons. Is one of his sons.
Son, yeah, he had two sons before. The other one passed away.
Yes.
Quite a few years
Because
now.
Nancy's down here and she told me and so forth. But
No, I think she's gone back.
no, she's still here. She's there, but she,
That's my
yes.
goddaughter.
But I know about it. Thank you very much for telling me anyway.
Okay. Yeah, he'll be there to rest on Friday.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
Anyway, ladies, I am here. As I said, I'm signed on for the week, okay? So if you don't hear my voice, I'll be still listening, all right?
Okay, all right. No problem. Thanks, Mr. Mason.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
Lisa, there's a lot of conspiracy theories.
No, you can go ahead, Doc.
A lot of conspiracy theories. When things happen to people, this used to be the thing of the older days. You see a comet come down, or you see a falling star, and that means something. What does that mean? And people would turn these things into all sorts. And today with electronics and so, you could take it to a different level.
You go take it down.
Dave,
Hello?
Hey, Dave. You can go ahead.
Yes, I come back again. I hope that I don't get interrupted. Yes, so listening to the commentary there by Dr. Thompson, I am happy that he was able to give some detailed information as to when it started, how it all started by Americans and so on. And I make the point, this isn't something that was indigenous to us as a people. And we hold on to some of these things sometimes without having a good structure or family structure. Some of us are fathers, but not fathers. God, we don't mind with children and all of that. I remember growing up in the home I was born in. After this became a kind of celebration. I know on Mother's Day, on Father's Day, we used to give both of them their honor. We the siblings, I as the oldest one, used to make sure that we prepare a special day for them, mother and father.
But that's because that's because you grew up in a two-parent household, right?
Yeah, well, it had to be that.
Okay.
I mean, and that's why I speak like how I speak. I was just about to say how many children grew up in that way, where they paid that kind of respect to mother on Mother's Day and father on Father's Day. So there are a lot of things that were instilled in me, right? For instance, we have parents who broke up. By the way, I hear Dr. Thompson speak. I don't know his wife. I don't know if he still has a legal wife and all of that. I know a little history, but I will not repeat that, right? So, but it's good to know that there are those of us fathers who are happy to treat Mother's Day as a special day, and vice versa, and it should happen it should happen to fathers on that particular day as well. That's how I see it. So I grew up in that way. I knew my mother, I knew my father, and all of us as siblings on any of those days paid particular attention, cooking and whatnot, and making that sort of celebration for them.
Okay,
Thank you.
Good. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, I don't know if Dave legally married, and so you know what I mean, or if he has a wife, or if he's had.
He told you something else, you know.
Well, I tell you,
why you have to go?
I had to go back there, but listen. What I want to say is that I want if people realize too, Mother's Day was being celebrated.
All right, so let's take this final call. All right, hi, Coach. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Morning, Doc.
Morning. How are you?
Okay. Well, one of the first things I have to talk about is the gifting. The reason why we get socks and ties is because the woman shopping power was not very strong. And they had a lot of time in their hand before they go into the industrial market, because after World War I or II, they went basically into the industrial market. So knitting, it was a privilege for them to knit socks and ties for their husbands.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the only way of gifting they could have given. So don't knock it that much.
Okay.
Because we haven't really changed our gifting, we use flowers and chocolate.
For Valentine's, you mean?
Most things, flowers and chocolate.
Just a note that us modern women want house and land. All right, just saying.
I'm not saying that that's not what you're. Just saying that modern man, just like modern men don't want.
Which one do you want first, Roleza? The house or the land?
Our land, no.
Okay, land.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
As an African brother say, you should not have any children unless you have land.
Unless you have all land?
Yes.
Okay.
No man, no woman should have children without land. Because land feeds the family. That's what he said.
Interesting.
Interesting. Okay. So now you say that you are land, I could understand. but Doc, as I said, not the gifting so much. Woman hasn't really changed from the gifting, and it's because of the woman didn't have no shopping power, no money.
But Coach, I just want to just say, it's okay for a mother to give a father a gift, and if she didn't have the shopping power, but I'm talking about the children. I'm talking about the sons and the daughters. The sons and the daughters. In other words, at your age, your son and daughter would be of a certain age. And sons, if sons recognize the father and they had greater shopping power and purchasing power, then what did they purchase? You understand? So I accept the fact about the mother as a wife buying the husband or father a gift, but I'm talking about the kids. What did they give in and so forth in relation to Father's Day?
That. Let me tell you, I'm glad of WhatsApp because my Father's Day was a call. We call it a WhatsApp video call, so I could see my daughter.
Yeah.
That's what it is, you know.
Yeah. And that's only 6-7 years old now, 7-8 years old. Believe it or not.
Oh, my daughter?
No, video call. WhatsApp video call is less than 10 years.
But Coach, well, we need to kind of wrap up this segment because we're over time. But right, to asking you the question, was that enough for you though? Just getting that video call, did you feel like it was enough? Because I think that's the point that Doc is trying to make.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. At least she recognized that, you know, sometimes it's not the material things that you get to know. It's just the thought of she knowing that I'm doing good for her. I did well for her, and she recognizing me today.
It's interesting because I can hear some men saying, well, you know, you buy your mother an actual gift, but for me, you're giving me a video call, right? So, you know, it doesn't balance back the same way. So that's why I asked the question.
I mean, life is not fair. I mean,
and needs are different. There doesn't have to be equalization, Coach. You ain't asking for a blender and a microwave and so forth. You ain't asking for that. Are you a coffee?
But I'm so simple. I don't think my daughter can actually buy me anything.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's nothing I think my daughter could buy me that I just like, oh, I'm so happy. Even if she buys me a tool, I might have the tool already in my toolbox. So I mean, it's hard for women to buy for them like that. Trust me. We might not see it. It's very hard because a lot of this stuff that they might think of buying, we don't have them already.
Yeah, that's why you get more socks and ties, right? That's why.
You don't have to just buy things. You can take them out.
Yeah, experiences.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So
that was one.
All right, cool. All right. So
Lisa, I just want to wrap up something. Just to wrap up that Mothering Sunday has been celebrated in Europe for many years. They were even had it in Rome, but it wasn't until 1908, a couple of years, I'm talking about a year before, that another person started up this thing about Mother's Day. And this was, they held it at the church, and this is where the lady who started Father's Day heard that sermon. You understand? Heard that sermon and say, I'm going to go with a Father's Day too, because she heard the Mother's Day sermon. And they only made Mother's Day an official thing in 1914. So I don't want you to think Mother's Day has been official since the 1800s, 17 and 16 and so on. So all these things, and I wouldn't say sadly, but it was also started up in Philadelphia, USA. So, but it's spread around the world. If something is good, it doesn't have to start up in your country as being indigenous to St. Vincent. We only want to celebrate Mother's Day. It's wonderful if that happened. But it is something, if something is good, it can spread around the world.
Indeed. All right. So we are heading on out of this segment at this time. It is 9:10, and we are heading directly into today's ECCB currency exchange rates.